So this is going to give you a quick overview. Corporate Buyer's Guide. The purpose here is to navigate this landscape of trends, use cases, and vendors. We're selling this for $499, and that includes quarterly updates for the next 4 quarters because it's moving too quickly. Okay, the basic notion is that we are arraying vendors along strategic value, and we have a 25-factor analysis that places people on strategic value and market readiness. And then if you're high in both of those, you're a named market leader, of which you can see there are 7 here. Very much use case oriented, not just hyperscaler products, but others. And then it's based on research of over 100 interviews, 500 hours of research looking at these with a whole team of folks looking at these particular products. So you can see in here everything from Mistral to Snowflake to Seeker and so forth. And as I mentioned, it's part of a 12-month subscription service. So methodology is very straightforward. We use the robots a ton, in-depth interviews, product briefings, analysis, our vendor rating framework, which I mentioned. And what we're trying to deliver is value for 3 audiences. One, enterprise leader, save them time and effort and help them feel safer in their judgment, investors and AI vendors. And then us in terms of our firm, what we're doing. Important characterization here is the idea that LLMs are the engine, if you will, of the enterprise intelligence applications framework. It's not the whole thing. So there are many elements to solve the business problem. Here is the model I had talked about before. And then just to give you an idea of how we might array these vendors from foundation model vendors to cloud and data management orchestration and ones that start from the chips and GenAI solutions. It's important to find kind of where they began because many of these firms, especially the big ones like NVIDIA, Sampanova Systems, and so forth, are not just in hardware, right? They're also in the software stack. NVIDIA is going vertical and horizontal. This gives you an idea in terms of what the product has in it. Executive summary: adoption, use case trends, vendor and technology trends, enterprise emerging leaders, purchase considerations, and then vendor profiles. So let me just highlight 3 things here, 3 pages. One is the executive summary in terms of the companies. We totally believe that GenAI market's still in the very early stages, as Tim noted, the fun stage. Most organizations are in the educate part of educate, apply, transform. We also try to learn from those 5% of companies who are actually in deployment. Highest ROI continues to seem to come from those organizations in the organizations, functions, or tasks that are in the crucible, if you will. That is, those with high wins intensity. And then the kinds of things, coding, customer service, contract management, deliver strong ROI. I mentioned this notion of own your own intelligence. Many of the large enterprises are starting to worry about, are they going to leak out their competitive advantage here? And we think that's an important and correct worry. And then GenAI remains a priority, an increasing part of the IT budget and increasing amount of activity. Foundation, in terms of the summary of the vendors, proprietary models still dominate, although open and smaller models are starting to come up. OpenAI remains the leader, but competitors have really squished down the gap, especially in some owner-operated smaller businesses. You can see folks like Anthropic really grabbing market share as the whole market grows. We continue to see vertical integration and even some horizontal integration where NVIDIA, AWS, Google, and so forth, people going down into the hardware. It reminds me of what the computer business looked like in the 60s and 70s before you had a lot of the layering and differentiation. And very diverse ways of going at the market in terms of vendor technologies and roadmaps. In terms of outlook, and I'll end on this, we really believe that 25 is going to be the year of GenAI in production, surging from 5 to 25 or 33%. Companies will start to experience an explosion of token usage. Been doing a total cost of ownership model that looks at the tokens coming up and a combination of substitution of capital for labor, where we start to automate more and more of the enterprise. In addition, agents are going to generate massive token demand. On-premise adoption, we think, will increase, as well as the use of small models on devices and otherwise. And then the notion of AI agent adoption within specific application areas will grow. You may have seen today, there's a story about an announcement yesterday about the person who headed up Android for Google is now starting an AI agent operating system layer will be one of the enabling capabilities to have AI agents take off. All right, let me stop there. And there are, for those of you who are interested in anything more, just let us know, and happy to send you along other information. And as I say, an individual license is $4.99, and then obviously, if you wanted, there's other parts if you have bigger uses for it.